to wintertime, everybody!
Hey, everyone.
Well, hello?
I kind of looked like he had a knife for a second.
He's like, hey, get off my snow-filled lawn.
Chop off your nose.
Merry Christmas, you filthy
Get off
animals.
my snow lawn.
Oh, man, it was such a good jump, too. Oh, man. It's so hard to watch. It makes me so sad.
This game sucks.
2 out of 10. Nice!
I hate to say it, because I know this game was like revolutionary for its time.
Say it.
I don't like it.
Say it, Luke.
I got that the 3D All-Stars and I started to play it and I was like, I don't think I like it. But I didn't grow up with it.
Yeah, and I didn't grow up with it either.
Well, and much like many of the games that were around from around this time, the 3D stuff, it hasn't particularly aged
Right.
well.
It's like, I love Croc. Terrible game.
Oh, Jesus.
I think we're having
Have you
this
played
conversation
Croc?
on our Polar Express episodes, where it's like, it's not good, but I like it.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with it.
I don't, honestly, though...
That's terrifying, first off.
What?
The hitbox is brutal. Look how far
What
you're
the
at.
hell just happened?
When we were
Here we go.
flapping our gums earlier, Selena, that it's like a panda or something literally talked, so it got agency.
A panda?
What is that thing we're climbing?
It's a snowman.
It looks like a
It
panda.
looks like a soulless ghoul.
a ghoul.
It looks like a ghoul.
Croc is not great because of tank controls,
Yeah.
but like
No, I'm saying in general, it's a bad game, but I have a lot of nostalgia for it.
I can't get on the it's a bad game bandwagon. I'll get on the it's hard to play, but it's not bad.
It wasn't bad for its time.
I think it's a
But it hasn't aged well.
I think it's a fair 3D platformer from the era. I really do.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it hasn't aged well. I think this has aged well, I just don't like it. I didn't grow up with it.
This is I like this actually.
Pretty much
3D
all games that are
ice
old, if I like them, it's because I grew up with them. Like,
guess. I don't know.
Galaga, I'm obsessed with, but that's because I had Namco Museum growing up.
I've heard this debate too though, because like, is it even valid to say that something didn't age well as like a strike against it? Because what do? Do you meet a game in the context of its time and evaluate it, or is the yardstick always compared to like modern day? Because everything pales in comparison if you compare it to modern day.
Well, you can only judge things of their time.
Well, that's like my friends who don't like Crash Bandicoot. They don't understand why I prefer playing the actual PlayStation, like the old PlayStation ones, instead of the Insane trilogy.
Well, see, there's
I like the Insane trilogy. It's cool. It's nice to see this old game updated. But I'm like, I prefer how crummy the controls are in the first game.
Well, see, that's the thing though too. If your friends who can't enjoy Crash Bandicoot like the old ones, if you let them play the new ones, which
No, and they have.
kind of bring it to modern day, but not really because they're so faithful that they try to almost emulate the past anyway.
Yeah.
It's hard to then maybe I'd be more forgiving if they were like, yeah, okay, it's not great, but like, or let them play Crash 4, I guess, because that's technically a modern game.
I think there most people that I know that don't like it, they're just so used to like non-linear types of games. Like that's the thing. They're like, oh, it's just you running and jumping. I'm like, yeah, that's the point. It's a 3D linear 3D platformer.
Yeah. Well,
I like those kinds of games.
I think part of the thing too is not only as like time goes on do games change and develop, but genres literally change and develop. Like
yeah. Everybody's so used to like the open world shoot 'em ups.
Well, and like for example, arcade type games don't exist much at all anymore because arcades
They're not popular
aren't
in
around.
America.
Well, that's
But
the
it's
thing.
like in other countries, arcades still do well.
But that my point just being that like as time and technology advances, the genre not just will the games improve, but the genres themselves are going to evolve and adapt.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we don't have a lot of linear plain Jane games anymore, and a lot of it comes down to taste too. But I don't know. That's why like I always want to I'm the type of person that gets a full amount of enjoyment from playing an old game.
Right.
In modern day, and it's not even about like Like, you know, me and my mom did 2 days before Christmas. I
What'd you do?
whipped out the PS1 and we played the original Hot Shots
Hot
together.
Shots Go!
And-
You guys used to play that so much.
Yeah, and honestly, like, it's funny because I told her, I was like, this isn't going to last long. We'll probably do this for like 20 minutes because it's really hard to,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like not quality of life things. But what's hilarious is we ended up playing 2 full, like, 18-hole games. And
Wow.
after I told her, I was like, you know, Ma, I'm kind of sick because now, for some reason, I have a drive to complete this and unlock all the characters and courses again. Because, like, something about it, even though there are better games in the series, for some reason I really enjoy just that with its clunkiness once I was getting the hang of it again. Like, it's hard, I don't know, for me, I find it, I like meeting games on their terms. For me, I think that's
Right.
like the point of it. I like coming back to them and like coming to their experience that they offered at the time.
I still want to get, speaking of revisiting childhood favorites, I have to get that Wipeout game for the PlayStation.
Oh yeah. Did I ever let you play the Omega Collection on PS4?
Yeah, we play that.
'Cause I
and
have-
it's cool, but I just want that classic Wipeout game.
Oh no, I get that.
I don't resent my father for it, but he did give it away.
Well, you're in luck because it's like a $10 game. So
Is it really?
It's not like your dad gave away like, I don't know.
Well, he gave away that. He gave away Descent, Nightmare Creatures, Duke Nukem. All games I didn't really get to play because I was like, I have to wait till I'm older to play them. And now I have a hankering for Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem. Ah, the monkey's got your hat.
I remember when I was super excited when the new Duke Nukem came out, and I bought it for my dad.
When was this? Like, what new one?
It was when Duke Nukem Forever came out, which was like
Okay.
long awaited.
That was
And
three.
it
Was it Xbox 360 you got it
Mm-hmm.
for? Okay, yeah. Did he
God
play it?
Dang it.
I think a little bit.
Did he try it?
Yeah. It just wasn't a good game. If you watch the history on that, it's really infuriating, honestly.
I think I watched some videos at the time, or at least
It's like the guy
a
who
while
like
ago.
the head honcho of like the developing team who created Duke Nukem. Just like nothing was ever good enough for him, so they kept trying to perfect it, and then like a new era of video games or a new processing stuff would come out,
Yeah,
or new engines would come out. So then they'd have to start from scratch.
I know.
Because
and
he kept making them. It's like, just release the damn game.
That's what's hard about development too with games.
No, but that was on his own. That was his fault. Like, they could have just released it on a somewhat older engine, and it would have been fine. I don't think anybody would have complained.
No, they probably wouldn't have, but it's tough too because that's why like it sucks that like money gets involved in it. It hurts the product in a lot of ways too. A lot of times with games. What is this Shy Guy like spitting fire at you for?
Another thing too is I think deadlines really hurt games.
Well, there's no doubt.
Like, case in point recently. Y'all know what I'm gonna say. Cyberpunk. Everybody was like, well, they couldn't have pushed it back any further. I'm like, yes, they could have. Like, I hate that people complain about that. This is why y'all keep getting unfinished games.
No, I know.
Because you won't let them take the time that they need to make it. They're like, oh, it took them years to make it. I'm like, yeah, because it's a really intricate game. Yeah, it took them years. Like, do you know how hard it is to make a game?
In 6 months, they'll have the patches out for the older consoles, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, and that's another thing too, is I'm like, big games like this tend to have buggy releases.
yeah,
I
unfortunately,
feel like people.
it's a standard
I'm like,
nowadays
and
too.
I haven't even played the game. This is just based off of what I've seen. Should they have released it for consoles the way in its condition? Probably not, but they're gonna fix all the problems with it.
A friend of mine has a PS5 and he's played Cyberpunk, and I've talked to him like multiple times about it, asking him what his experience has been, and he's actually been totally fine. Like,
Yeah.
he was like, and obviously, like, I know it is better, and it is on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X versus the last gen consoles, but honestly, it's not like it's a terrible game on the modern gen systems, which is like, you know, that's at least something. Like, it's not like it's that much of a mess for the newer stuff, which is good.
Right.
Because he literally, I asked him, I was like, are you still going to complete it? Because he likes getting all the trophies and stuff, and he was like, absolutely. So clearly it's not bad enough or it's not distracting enough that it's like...
I just think they shouldn't have released it for PS4, I'll be honest, but...
No, like...
Because I kind of compare it to, like, when they released Breath of the Wild for the Wii U and the Switch. I was glad because I had a Wii U, but when I play it, the frame rate drops constantly.
Well, and if they... Honestly, they could have held the PS4 one back 6 months or something, like the last gen one, but... I mean, hey, at this point, they're going to have to do it anyway, so maybe, they probably should have. Have you played it at all, Tim, by the way?
No.
Do you have any interest in playing it?
Yes, I'm just waiting until it's patched.
Oh, okay.
I want to because it has physics. I think that's funny.
I think we talked about that.
I like it too because the character creator is really in depth, and you can basically make yourself and self-insert. Which, if I do, I'm totally date Jackie, the main guy, and that. I love him.
Oh my gosh! No!
I looked it up, and he's totally like you can totally romance him. I was like, what? I hate that that's like the only reason I want that game. Because you can people in that game.
Well, guys, I think that's what a great way to end
I have
episode.
underlying motives.
Guys, come back next time and see if Selena still has underlying motives.
All right,
Always.
goodbye, everybody.
Bye.